My name is Fred Maxik. I am the Chief Scientific Officer and a founder of Healthe Inc., which is a spin out of a company I started 21 years ago now, that was really formed around this concept of how do we take light and human life and all life on our planet and our environment and introduce these to each other. I knew as a child growing up, when I'd take a flashlight in my hand and shine it through, and I'd see the veins, the arteries, the bones in my hand. And it was just this amazing fascination. And then our ancestors, obviously, they worshipped light at some point in time. And everyone understood that light had this fundamental, foundational power and influence over our lives. And then about 150 years ago, we took this genie and we stuck it back in the bottle. We called that bottle a bulb. We stuck a little screw top on it and we re-encased it. And over time, we started talking about it in such a way that this light was now just something we saw by. We valued it that way. We formed metrics about it that way. And that's how we used it. And then over the years, we started looking at energy efficiency. So we keep parsing down that spectrum of light to these useful pieces that help us see at night or help us see in a dark room. But the reality was what our ancestors knew and what we knew as children, we had forgotten. And that is light has this profound effect on so much more. And lighting science initially, and now Healthe Inc. now, is about rediscovering that purpose, rediscovering and reintroducing what light is capable of doing for us. We are diurnal animals. We are diurnal creatures. We form because of this light and dark cycle. And this light and dark cycle informs our physiology, our hormone regulation, and so much of the biology around us. So what we really do at Healthe is we take this knowledge of what light can deliver to us, what services it can produce, and we create commercial products around it. And we have two product categories. One is around circadian regulation, which is a subject really for another day today. And then the second one is using lights, particularly some very, very novel areas of the spectrum of light, to help clean our environment. Over the years, in fact, the last decade and a half, there's been discoveries around 222 nanometers of light, Far-UVC light. This UVC light is radically different in one respect and very similar in another respect. In the respect it's similar, it is similar in that it will inactivate pathogens. It will disrupt the genetic material of pathogens, rendering them incapable of replication. It will disrupt the proteins in pathogens, destroying cellular walls and walls that may encapsulate viruses or bacteria. But what's novel about it is the energy state that exists in 222 nanometers is incapable of penetrating human skin deeply enough to do any damage to the genetic material. It's incapable of getting through the tear layer of our eyes. So therefore, this discovery is that we now have a UVC light, a Far-UVC light, which is 222 nanometers, that can be used in an environment where humans are present and in real time inoculate our facilities, our homes, our buildings, our offices, and every place else, every place we want to shop, every place we want to eat. And this is really novel. And there's an interesting way we can produce it today. We can produce it through an excimer lamp, which is a mixture of a couple of different gases. They get excited and then they produce this. And that is really where Healthe has focused now in how do we take these technologies, both UVC that existed before and Far-UVC, 222 nanometers, and create a better environment for us to live in, to work in, to play in, to eat in, to leisure in, and everything else we might want to do inside of a building. It doesn't take away good behavior. It doesn't take away having to wear masks when masks are appropriate, but it creates a layer of protection across our environment that just simply wasn't there before, and creates this resilience such that for a pandemic like the one we face now, or ones we may face in the future, and as well as things like seasonal flu and other things we are very familiar with, we have now the ability to address that in our environment in real time when people are present, and do it very, very efficaciously. Everyone asks the question almost on a daily basis, and then it's like, what is the future going to bring? Where are we really going to move with all this technology? And when you think about it, this is something that will become quite ubiquitous, likely. We need to know that we'll be safe and secure, and even from mindset, we want to feel like we're being taken care of when we enter into a space. So I think we're going to see this in many, many more form factors and in many more applications that we haven't begun to consider yet. Some obvious ones are out there and some not so obvious ones are out there. I think we will displace chemicals quite frequently in our environment, whether that's to clean countertops, whether that's to clean tables. I think those are natural ones. In fact, we even recently partnered with a company called Crosby Innovation, and Dr. Crosby has a great idea about how we can create a hand and glove sanitizer using Far-UVC light. And you'll see that coming from us over this next year with the idea that we can displace all these chemicals we're washing our hands with and soaking into our skin in a very, very conscious way, where we could just simply push our hands into one of these appliances, take them out a few seconds later, and render them clean. And same thing with gloves that we might wear for surgeries or patient care or fast food service. Finally, when we think about light, this metric we've used to measure light by, this lumen per watt or lumen per watt per monetary unit that's become so important to the whole lighting industry across the world, is actually a false one. And it's a false one because it only talks about two attributes. It talks about power consumption and it talks about our human vision. And I'd even argue it doesn't even talk about our human vision in a complete enough way. So when you really look at what the opportunity is, and where I really think we are maybe just emerging from the infancy of what we're going to do with digital light in the future and other light sources in the future, is that we are going to find, and we continue to discover new uses for light when we start modifying and engineering very specific spectral elements. We're going to find that light can change the way children's eyes grow through adolescence. And perhaps be able to do things correctively that are happening today. We're going to find that light can change the way the blood flows in our bodies by manipulating other areas of the spectrum. And we may even be able to find that light can penetrate our skull as we sleep and actually deliver to us some cleaning action within the brain cavity, and in such a way that maybe there are pathways to alleviate some dementia in the future. And these are things that we will continue to study and continue to bring products forth as they become tested and validated and scientifically proven. But as I said, I think re-looking at lighting science today, it really has a very, very young market, and there's plenty to be discovered and explored, and very exciting future for us.